What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles, welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Figure Files. The great Chuck Woolery taught us things always come in twos, and that's the case for the Mafex monthly reveals. Every month, there's that anticipation, that excitement. Oh man, I'm finally gonna get some more characters to add to my Knightfall collection, to my Hush collection, to my Reign of the Supermen / Return of Superman lines, or maybe they're gonna branch out to another popular DC storyline. And typically, I'm disappointed because there's just this wide chasm of other releases they want to hit. Sometimes we get two Marvel characters, a comic book, an MCU version. Sometimes Star Wars gets worked into the mix, and then there's DCEU. So there's all kinds of competition for me completing or getting a little bit closer to having more highly articulated 6-inch DC figures. Now, I don't really care so much about the Marvel stuff because Hasbro has that covered, but no company is doing what Mafex does for DC figures. It is just kind of like this. You guys have me on the hook. I'm down for basically any figure. Apologies to Flight Suit Batman, but if you give me something from the comic books, chances are I'm going to buy it. And I'm going to be happy to put down that pre-order and go, all right, I can't wait to get this figure in another year or 18 months. But this was not one of those months. This was one where I was just sitting on the sidelines, patiently biding my time, going, oh, well, I hope some people are excited about this. Now, Toy Art does a really great job of breaking down the figures that are coming to us from Mafex every month. I can't do it because I just can't take the heartache and heartbreak. But this was back during San Diego Comic-Con. This is when they showed off so much stuff, including, if you can see, the Eradicator and Superboy, Scarecrow from Hush, that cool looking Daredevil. So July, we had two Marvel, Captain America, Phoenix. August, the Eradicator, yay. MCU Cap from Winter Soldier. Zack Snyder's Mafex Batman from Justice League. That was September, along with Daredevil in October. Black Adam in October. Hey, another Hush figure. That's Riddler. Awesome. And then Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight from Mandalorian. I mean, that figure I may have to pick up because, Luke Skywalker. December, Hush Scarecrow. That figure looks awesome. And Infinity Saga, Black Panther. Probably want to go take a look at that figure too. So that was December. We're May now. So what other comic book figures have been added to the collection? So shockingly, it hasn't really been that many. We got Mafex Superboy, Reign of the Supermen. Can't wait for him. He's probably one of my most anticipated figures so far from Mafex. Stealth Armor Iron Man. Okay, cool. Then we got John Wick coming in here with John Wick and Kane from John Wick 4. It's like, no, that's cool. Those are awesome looking figures, but not quite hitting on my DC needs there. Then we got more characters from the boys, Spider-Man 2099 for March. Then in April, No Way Home, Tobey Maguire, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and then Empire Strikes Back for long. And that was April. So May's reveals, what are they? What lines do they cover? We get one DC, we get one Marvel figure. Let's start off with the DC figure because this one's probably a little bit more disappointing to me just because I don't know where the demand was for this one or a lot of people looking forward to it, but I know I wasn't. So let's start off with Zack Snyder Justice League Flash. And, not hating on this figure. It looks solid. It looks like a really good version of this terrible suit. I just thought, like, man, we're getting Flash from the ground up with this patchwork costume. And this isn't the first time we've gotten this figure before. We've already gotten one from Mafex a while ago. This was back when Mafex figures cost $80 or $81. And you can see, the figure looks solid. The head sculpt isn't quite as great as this one, but do we really need a new Barry Allen, Ezra Miller figure? The Flash essentially killed off the DCEU. I like the Flash. I thought the movie was fine, but that movie bombed. I don't know if we really needed to go with another one. Here's a look at, just some of the images though, and they're cool. There's that moment where he's touching Diana's sword and kicking it back to her, so that's pretty cool. You can do that moment, and then here's some looks of the full outfit. You can appreciate all this detail. They did a spectacular job as always. This is going to be so well articulated, going to run smoothly or be posed to run smoothly. And I mean, all the detail, it looks great because of how janky the outfit looks, just with all the wires and string holding it together. You can see the sculpt really captures that so nicely. Nice stern expression for Barry here. And just look at all the panel work, the details, the rivets, the wires, the Flash logo right there. I mean, this is a really solid looking figure. I can only hate so much in terms of how it looks. And my main question, of course, is why we needed this one, but it looks great. Here's a look at the different head sculpts. We've got the neutral one. We got more of a goofy, smiling expression, and then a straight up Barry Allen head sculpt. And those all look good, although I kind of feel like maybe the neck is slightly too long, elongated, man, maybe. But there you go. That's Barry. And again, not really gonna hate on this outfit because they really covered all the texture details there. Unfortunate placement of the mouse. And you can see we've got some of the texture here and more of a synthetic silicone material. So it's got some different elements to it. That looks really cool. Here are the accessories, not a ton. Maybe they could have also thrown in Wonder Woman's sword just for more of that. Hey, here's a bonus. You can see here Batman's batarang, which doesn't quite make a lot of sense because he wasn't holding the batarang when he was in full costume. But here you go. You can do the full running pose with him weirdly running like he did in all the movies he showed up in. And I think that's really cool. You can make that shot and that'll look cool and all that good stuff. And here is him with the batarang, a smirk on his face. So solid work. I mean, I don't have any issue with the execution of this figure. And for everybody who's been collecting these Mafex Justice League characters and didn't get this one, I know he's super expensive, so this is another chance for everybody to get that figure one more time. But I just kind of wondering, like, couldn't we've gotten use this for another figure, maybe someone for the comic book front where we could add another one. Maybe this was the opportunity to get that DC Comics Reign of the Superman Green Lantern. I keep saying he's one of the major ones, but I feel like he's kind of important. You can tie him into this big Superman arc, get Green Lantern out there, and then slowly pivot to a big Green Lantern storyline. Emerald Twilight, whatever you want to do. There's so many Green Lantern Rebirth, Blackest Night, Sinestro Core War, whichever way you guys want to go with it. But there's so many options. This way, we get a classic Hal Jordan, and of course, give him an alternate head sculpt where he has the non-gray temples. We're covered with that, and for him, I think that would be a really great figure and allows us to have our Superman, our Batman, got Nightwing, Steel, Superboy, Eradicator, Huntress, Catwoman, and then we're slowly starting to work in some more of those main A-list top tier DC heroes like Green Lantern. Now, in terms of the Marvel character, I think this one they put out made a whole lot more sense and is far timelier because the hottest property going right now for Marvel is X-Men 97. While this isn't an exact match for that look, this was a very highly demanded character that once we even saw the tease, a lot of you all were very excited about it. It's Rogue and just a fantastic looking figure. They're doing really good work where they're X-Men characters, and you see she's got her belt where she can kind of hang, diagonally across her waist and torso and hips. That's cool. Maybe not the torso, but her hips and her waist. That's really cool. I think this expression is cool. Kind of gives her a, kind of a Southern Belle deal, not looking too mischievous. I like the look of this leather jacket. It's tailored and stitched just right. So it's just below her chest. I think that hangs really well. The collar looks awesome. The hair is flowing in a way where it doesn't look like it's going to mess up too much of her articulation. And she doesn't look too long, too short, really well proportioned. I do really like this head sculpt. I think this one would probably be the default look that I would go with if I were going to get her. I am kind of curious how she looks with the other figures and how she matches up with Marvel Legends, because this hair sculpt does look a little bit better than what we've seen so far from Marvel Legends from Hasbro. So nice looking work. And I do really like how her jacket is done. The sheen to the green of her outfit, the nice flat but really bold yellow stands out. The X belt, of course, looks great. And it's just like, I could see possibly making that move here with Rogue. And here's her fierce, angry sculpt. I like that a lot too. It just kind of makes sense for her. And I think all of the X women have this kind of gritted teeth expression. But I think for Rogue, it kind of makes the most sense. Her and Psylocke. Here are the other head sculpts. So there's the really neutral one. Here's the sort of smiling one of the three. Probably my least favorite. And then we got the angry one, which I think kind of channels more of the Jim Lee look than we've seen from some of the other ones. But I really like how consistent her hair is. Maybe it's just a face plate that they're swapping out with all these Rogue figures, but she looks good. And that green really pops with this figure. So good work, as always, from them. And they took a cue from the X-Men 97 Rogue design. So she's lost a little weight in certain portions. So you won't be able to recapture that meme with this figure either. Here's her flying out to greet us, coming for our powers and all that good stuff. But you can see she's got good range with this jacket. It's not impeding any of her movement, which is very good, very encouraging with this design and this look. Last few. So here's her just kind of standing at attention. And of course, I don't think we're gonna have to worry about these bands sliding down. Even that latest one that we got from Hasbro has that problem. Doesn't look like that's gonna be an issue here, but it's just she looks really smooth, really clean, just in terms of how the different elements, like those bands, the gloves. Yeah, the belt is a little bit higher than you like, maybe would sit a little lower, but maybe that's just how it's posed for these pictures. I do like that. And here's the final one. This is the one we saw that teaser image with just the hand holding the glove. Like I thought, that's plastic and it's molded into that hand. So we've got the exposed hand coming for her powers. Watch them. But I really like this figure. I think they did a great job with Rogue. I know a lot of you all are super excited to get her. We got a lot of the blue team from Mafex now. Got Cyclops. Shoot, we've got most of them. We've got Jean. Let's hold the mic together. There we go. We've got Cyclops. We've got Jean, Storm, Gambit, Wolverine. I'm kind of in Psylocke. Kind of curious where they're going to go next. Will they give us a Beast? Will they go with Jubilee? I think Jubilee was probably the one I'm most interested in, because I still think the Hasbro Marvel Legends version's a little bit too tall compared to the other characters, especially Wolverine. So I think their scale, a little bit slimmer, a little bit smaller, I think she would fit in really well. And with all the different head portraits that they would throw in, I think that could be one of my very first Mafex Marvel characters I would get, especially how they'd incorporate her trench coat, raincoat jacket. So I'm curious to see where they go next. Now, it might be another 4 months before we see another X-Men from the Jim Lee era, but definitely curious and interested to see where they go next. What do you guys think about these reveals? Are you excited about the Justice League Flash coming back out, running back onto the track, so everyone who missed it can get another crack? And what do you think about this Rogue? Are you happy about expanding your X-Men 97, X-Men 92, Jim Lee era collection? As always, thank you so much for watching. This episode of Loud's Figure Files has been filed.